Hi everyone, I'm Randy Wilson, Real PD, with another episode of Real Perspective, where we bring nuggets and pieces of valuable experience and just knowledge or a story or something from people just like this young lady here with me. Her name is Angie Lynch, or Angela Lynch. She's the executive director of the Chambersburg Area School District Foundation, and she's an adjunct professor at Wilson College, and she's a friend of mine too. So she's a great person, and we've been talking a little bit. She has an awesome thought to share with all of you who are watching this. So over to you, Angie.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Well, I hope that this finds you well and excited about what you're pursuing. My nugget is that I encourage individuals, no matter what age, to think about your driving emotion, the leading thing in your life that helps you make decisions as to what your next step is going to look like. I work with a lot of young people at high school, lots of college students, lots of returning adults, and it seems that there's such a trend that people are caught up in fear. And fear doesn't necessarily serve you. Fear can sometimes help you, take a calculated risk. But if your thought process is driven in fear and what if, and you're concerned with judgment, you're not going to necessarily have that kind of lifestyle or experience where you can find your peace and live your truth. And Randy asked me for a personal experience, and one that just happened to coincidentally pop up on my Facebook memories today. Back in 2009, I had the great fortune of traveling cross country by motorcycle and visited 13 national parks, actually in 14 days. So it was a great trip, but that was my younger self, and I was worried about disclosing that I was on a motorcycle because that's judgmental there. My fear was, what will people say?
Yeah.
I had just lost my job when the Scotland School for Veterans Children had closed, and it was a good time for me to take a risk. I had never traveled that way. I had been very much a comfort traveler, airfare and a nice rental car, and take 10 pairs of shoes. And this trip caused me to live and survive and thrive out of my comfort zone.
You can't take 10 pair of shoes on a motorcycle.
Nope, you had a pair of riding boots and you had a pair of flip-flops. So I think that Facebook memory, that picture that popped up, I was on the ground sitting next to the canyon, the Black Gunnison, and I was looking down, and I have a horrible fear of heights. And at that moment, all those years ago, my thought was, why do I care what people think about me traveling by motorcycle?
Yeah.
Why is it making me spin? And I'm thinking, this is a really great experience. Why do I not want to talk about this trip? Why am I not interested in shouting it from the mountaintops? Because it was one of the coolest things I had ever done.
Yeah.
And looking down, I could hear the water, and I just had this moment of peace of, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to find whatever that moment is where you can say, I don't care anymore what someone else thinks of me. If I'm doing things that are legal and ethical and moral, and I'm speaking my truth, that cult of perfectionism and the fear that we have about what people think of us, you will certainly die a slow and painful death.
Yeah.
So I encourage folks to just think about what makes their heart sing and go after that. And I don't care if you're 5 or you're 25 or if you're 105.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that people are finding joy in their day-to-day and making decisions that serve them rather than serve others.
That's a beautiful story, beautiful perspective to share with you. And just by the way, she mentioned 3 ages, and none of those, 5, 25, or 105. Some of you may be wondering about that, so I just want to let you know. But it's such a great story, great perspective, because fear does impact our lives a lot of times in negative ways. It holds us back. And what if I fail? What are they going to think about me? What if they don't like it? What if all these what ifs keep us from pursuing our dreams? Right. So that's a great message. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Randy.
You're welcome.
All right.
Randy Wilson, Real Perspective. We'll be back again.